Welcome to Left On Wed.
Bite-sized tips for people getting hitched. Georgia Fletcher.
Adam Sini.
In the same room.
How did we get here?
In this part of town.
Georgia!
Adam!
Season 1 finale!
Whoop, whoop.
We made it!
How did we get here?
On a bus. Georgia, this is like episode 20 of season 1. What?
Who knew that you and we could do a podcast?
Georgia, this is for you.
Was that the surprise?
I got hats.
Oh, you did.
Here you go. I got party hats. Do you want light blue? Or did you break it? They're from Kmart. They're not very good. Shout out Kmart. We're going to wear some... Oscar, do you want a party hat? Oscar's going to have a party hat too. Do your thing. Ready? 3, 2, 1. We're having a party.
Yay!
Georgia brought Maltesers.
That's a great idea.
Did you like this?
This was genius.
I know. I was in the shop the other day and I said, I'm going to do something for Georgia because she
And-
loves surprises.
I do love surprises.
3, 2, 1. Are you pumped?
I'm pumped.
I want to wear this for the whole episode. Is it ridiculous?
Okay. Well, imagine if I had my bun on top of my head.
I know, it wouldn't have
Would have
worked.
it could have fit really nicely, actually.
Georgia,
I've changed it up.
we are pumped.
We are.
And this episode's a little bit different. We're doing things a little bit different just for the season 1 finale. It is history of Left On Wed that we always do and Ask Us Anything for our season finale.
It's going to be unusual if I don't wear a party hat. It feels...
Oh my God, Georgia. The studio's falling apart over here. Oscar's running around. He's getting you a new hat, Georgia,
thanks.
because you're a loose cannon. Honestly, she's never worn a hat. You're not a hat person, are you?
Not
You don't
really.
strike me as a hat person.
I'm new
I'm
to
a hat
hats.
guy. I'm not wearing a hat. Well, I am wearing a party hat now. These are pointy. Pointy hats on our ears. Okay, it's a bit different. We're going to be a little bit self-indulgent. And we're going to roll into some topics from you two. Do you want to just take the hats off? For goodness sake.
I don't love the elastic. If you want to see someone really struggle wearing a party hat, go to our YouTube.
Georgia, I want to peel back the curtain a little bit for our listeners because we haven't quite said this, but you might have noticed a little bit of a look behind the fourth wall. The entirety of season 1 we recorded before we even released an episode.
Spoiler, we had no idea what we were saying.
We didn't know what we were doing. Georgia came to me with this idea months before. I left you on red, quite literally. And then she messaged me again saying, I feel like you're not listening to me. I want to start a podcast. And I said, okay, fine.
You actually said, oh, I've asked someone else. But nothing's really happening.
Nothing's happening. So I was like, oh, yeah, fine. Georgia will do, basically. So we teamed up and that's kind of how it all happened. And we were very much like, we want the podcast to be consistent. We want it to come out every week. So we recorded a batch of episodes. We recorded 20 episodes, basically, all in a big batch.
Seems ridiculous,
So-
really, that we did it.
I know, it's ridiculous.
In amongst peak wedding
I
season,
know.
we nailed it. But we wouldn't be able to do it without a very special person in the room.
That's right. We always say it's Georgia and I talking to each other or on the phone, but there's actually somebody else here. We have a
actually a
producer.
VIP.
His name is Oscar. It's actually the person. Every episode you listen to, Oscar has been in the room nodding and smiling and laughing. Oscar, can you come over here? Can we invite you into the studio?
Come in.
Oscar, he's not wearing the hat that I gave him. He's breaking up a hat now. Oh, it's pink. Can you come and sit with me? If you want to see what Oscar looks like, you have to go on the YouTube. Say, hi, Oscar.
Hello, hello, hello.
How are you?
I'm living the dream.
We
No, go on.
would not have been able to do it without this man here. He sets up the microphones, he does all the camera stuff, he edits the episodes, and then he just sends us a nice little email saying, hey, it's edited. Oscar,
Yes.
you're getting married really soon.
I am very soon. 2 months' time-ish.
George is your celebrant.
She is.
Yay.
Very excited. Cannot wait.
Such a good choice for celebrant. One of
Yes.
the top 2, I would say.
One of the top 2, maybe number 2.
Oscar, you've been sitting there as our producer. You've listened to every episode. You've edited it more than others. And I'm curious, you're planning this whole wedding. Have you found it useful? What have you loved? What's helped you? What do you hate?
It's been fantastic. It's been a lot of issues. I go, oh, I won't listen to that while we're recording. And then I go, DJ, I need to figure out how to do that. And then we also had, what else? We had planning. Luckily, haven't done an uninvited guest yet, but maybe, who knows. What else we got? Yeah, it's been incredibly helpful. These are just great little bite-sized tips. You know, who knew?
For people getting hitched like you.
Basically, we made these episodes for you listening, but really, we had no feedback, no listeners but Oscar.
We make them for Oscar.
So literally before each episode, we would say to Oscar, hey, what do you want to know about this topic? And you'd be like, oh, can I learn a little bit about what color people should wear? And we're like, okay, we'll talk about that. So we basically made the podcast for Oscar.
And Ruby. We made it just for them. We dedicate this whole podcast to Oscar and Ruby.
Say hi, bye, Oscar. Love you, Oscar.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
We love Oscar. He's the best. Oh my goodness me. Oscar's just so pretty and lovely and
He is
nice. And I
beautiful.
can't wait for you to do his wedding.
I'm excited too. I've already written the story.
Oh my God, you're ridiculous and I love that so much. So we put out these episodes and now we're coming to you from a space, the first episode that you've ever listened to where the season is out in the ether and we know what people have thought about it. And I've got to say the feedback's been pretty overwhelming.
It's been really good. We've left a very solid digital footprint in the world of podcasts, made a big impression in the wedding industry, and we are now the chaotic and crazy duo you didn't know you needed in your wedding planning.
We haven't pissed off too many people.
Not yet.
We've had a lot of vendors coming to us saying that our podcast is really helping them with their clients. They're sending it off. The lovely Oberon Lane, Ellie, she's been sending it off to her clients as like, listen to this podcast to get some ideas.
You've got a question, I've got the answer. Over on Left on Wed.
Yes.
Send them our way.
I love it. So please keep sending it. We also knew when we were coming to this podcast, when we were talking about it, there was a few things that we were really wanting and really clear on. We wanted the episodes to be short and sharp. We wanted you to be able to look at the feed and be like, I want to learn about how to write a great wedding speech this week. And you just click on that episode and you can listen for 20 minutes, short and sweet on it. We really knew that that's something that we wanted to do.
We also wanted merch, which is
And
why I
Georgia
got a
today
shirt.
for our season 1 finale is wearing her Left on Wed shirt.
Hooray.
I have misplaced my Left on Wed shirt and I'm going to buy hats next.
Good substitute.
What we also knew about when we were talking about this podcast, Georgia, is that our listenership would be coming and going. We know that people who are planning a wedding, they would get deep into it, our clients especially. Thank you for listening. But once you plan the wedding, you might be gone. You might not listen anymore, and that's fine. But then what we need to ask from you is please, if your friends get engaged, if you know someone who's getting married who might find this helpful, please tell them about it.
Like
because
a
we want them
relay,
to.
pass the baton on to them.
Pass the baton on to them. Well, because we've also, something that we've thought about was making it accessible at any place in time. Hopefully you could pick this podcast up in a couple of years and it'll be hopefully just as helpful. We might even revisit some episodes.
It's a little scary that our voices will be out there permanently now, isn't it?
Yeah, right? It's a bit scary that I was on a Grant Denyer hosted talk show. What's it called? Quiz show. I was on a Grant Denyer quiz show and that's
not
out
what
there
it's
forever.
called. That's not what it's called.
What's it called?
It's a really good show. Family Feud.
No, I wasn't on
Oh.
Family Feud. I was on Celebrity Name Game and it only lasted like 6 months.
Oh.
And Ange and I went on and we lost.
Amazing, though. Call out to Survivor and any other reality shows. Adam would love to be part of your show.
Survivor, if you are, I'm not joking, please cast me. I want to backstab people live on television. It would be what I'm best at.
Adam's got big goals. But we ticked off the Left on Wed one, and we're lucky we're back for season 2. So what are some of the things that we are talking about in this next upcoming season?
So we're recording season 2 as we speak. And as we say that, episodes are still being recorded. So if you're watching or listening to this and you have a topic, please let us know because we want to do things for you. So please slide into our DMs.
We want
and
the
let us know.
encyclopedia of weddings.
But Georgia, what can they expect in season 2? Some topics. Give us a little bit of a sprinkle.
Oh my goodness. We're bringing the drama. We're bringing the scandals.
God.
We're
I love
bringing
this
to
one.
you things that you can say to guess that you are uninvited.
We're doing a whole episode on uninviting guests. Our first episode of season 2 is one that everyone has requested. It's on vows.
Vows.
Helping with vows. We've got an episode on talking about wedding planners versus wedding coordinators, what the difference is.
Working with your partner.
Oh, that's going to be a juicy one.
Get into your strat game about overcoming some challenges and some tips and
Yes.
tricks on how to work with your partner to wedding plan.
My goodness. The season 2 topic list is huge. I can't believe we had another, wait for it, 20 episodes. And that's going to be coming out sooner than you think. We're not one of those shows that wait a year for a new one. It's going to be coming out sooner than you think. We're going to be back in your feeds really, really soon. Georgia, before we get to the Ask Us Anythings, can I say one thing? It has been an absolute pleasure doing this podcast with you. For coming, we knew each other beforehand, but really, we didn't really like each other. Right?
That's not true. I really liked Adam.
Just
He was a
some
good
lady.
friend.
Now, no, you are a good friend. We talk to each other like every single week about the podcast. We listen to him and like, oh my God, I can't believe I said that. Adam, shut up. But it's been lovely.
It
You're a
has
great
been really
friend. It's
nice.
been absolutely beautiful. People are saying how much they love us talking to each other for some reason.
I know.
Apparently we have chemistry.
Oh, do we?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Did someone say that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
good. Electric, they said.
Oh, electric.
Oh, maybe they said eclectic. Oh, it's different, isn't it? Very different. So, please, if you love the podcast, keep reviewing, keep listening, subscribe. It really helps us as a little podcast. But we thought, as the season 1 finale, we would throw the baseball to you and ask you to give us some questions. And that's what we're going to do.
And if you have missed Adam's relentless asking for the question box, I don't know where you've been, but it comes up a lot on his Instagram.
I can't stop. Season 2 finale will be the same. So if you want to get on that one, please do. Georgia, I'm going to get straight into Ask Us. And this is how we have a theme song for Ask Us Anything. It's tradition here at Earth Left on Wed.
I don't know it, just for the record.
When you're looking at my face, you say, what's that? And I say, Adam and Georgia, ask us anything. You like that?
If you would like Adam to make a jingle for your wedding,
Oscar and I
he'll
recorded
sing the
that earlier.
entrance song.
Thank you, Oscar. Can you put some music to the back of that? He's nodding. I don't think he's going to. If you heard music in the back of that, I love Oscar so much. Okay, first question that I got, and this is actually a really juicy one. It's from Alexis. She DM'd us on Instagram. She said, how much should I expect to pay for a celebrant?
Starting off,
Yeah, sorry.
the hardest one of all.
Go on. You're on.
You can expect, depending on where you live,
Yep.
I think,
Yep. Makes
anywhere
difference.
between $450 to $3,000
Yes.
for a ceremony alone.
Yeah.
You've spoken to a very good celebrant friend of yours who gave you an excellent analogy for how to describe the cost of a celebrant.
Yeah.
What did our very good friend say?
There's actually, can I tie in another question that someone's asked? It's from Anonymous. Why do celebrants' costs vary so much? And you've just brought that up there, and this ties in with what you're going to say, is you can drive a Mercedes-Benz or a Kia, and they're both going to get you to the destination fine, but the experience between the two is going to be way different, right? Between maybe the more expensive vehicle or celebrant and the cheaper. I'm not saying that the cheaper celebrants aren't as good. I might put myself and say that I'm on the more premium end of that. The reason being is experience is something that you're paying for as well, right? You and I, we've done a whole bunch of weddings, and we know everything that can go wrong and right during a ceremony and how to react and sort of change up things on the fly if you need to. You're paying for that. And also performance experience. You're paying for people's experience in their workplaces from beforehand, their public speaking skills. It's like when you're going up to there, you know that you're paying for the product that is the upper echelon. Not saying that it might not be as good as one that is cheaper, but...
We also probably need to flip the question a little bit in terms of why do celebrants cost so much or why are their costs so varied, and think about, well, why are you not valuing the person who separates your wedding from a party?
That's exactly right.
So it's a very, very important thing to put your put your money into the value of a good celebrant, because they are hosting your wedding.
Yep.
They are the first people that your guests see. And it's really important that they set the tone for what you want on your wedding day.
Yeah, it's the most important part of the day, I think. And I know that what I strive to do, and I know you do the same, is every ceremony I go to, I want to be as good as the last one I did, if not better. I'm always pushing myself. I'm my worst critic. It's like, how can I make this the best possible thing that it can be for this couple? And it means something different for every couple. And sometimes you might get there and you go, this is not what I expected. And on the fly, the tone might have to change or whatever. And that's something that a more experienced celebrant might be able to bring to the table, right?
You and I, plus a lot of other celebrants that are in our friendship circle, are often our biggest critics.
Yep.
And even when I came and worked with you at a wedding where you were the celebrant, I was the coordinator, I ranted and raved to you about how great that ceremony was. And then your first question was, but what didn't you like?
Yeah.
What didn't I do well?
Yeah.
And I also do that to myself too, where if I don't get validation or I don't get a review or any sort of feedback that I did an okay job, I'll assume it was terrible. And I'll rebuild my practices, reflect on what I could do differently. And I'm constantly, and I know you are too, working on ways that make your business the very best it can be for your couples.
Because there is that old cliche of a celebrant only works for half an hour and they get $2,000 to do that. And it's
Don't ever say
ridiculous,
that
right?
to a celebrant. I hope that didn't come
No,
into
no,
the
no.
question box.
But that's what some people might think that it is. And you'll know when you go along the journey with the celebrant that there are so many emails, there's meetings, there is paperwork, there is scripting, there is they need to uphold their professional development. They're doing so much other stuff. And not only that, I'm constantly thinking about my couples, right? Even when you don't
Always.
think about it, I'm thinking about my couple on Wednesday at Kangaroo Valley Bush Retreat and what their ceremony is going to be like and that little thing that I want to add in there. And I can't stop thinking about it because it's just filling my head because I want it to be so good for them. And they paid for that. And I want to give that to them.
Absolutely. And in my inbox, I have a folder for every couple's name. And I often scroll through that list and I go, when was the last time I checked in with that couple?
me too.
So I'm always thinking about where I'm up to with every couple. So a celebrant's cost not only comes into those behind the scenes, but the hours spent thinking and considering that
And I think you absolutely nailed it when you said about that ceremony is what do you value? And it's like, do you value the experience and how you feel? Then put your ceremony as number one. It really should be right up there. And is there something else that's not as important to me that I can maybe cut down on to value that? So I think when you're thinking about it, really you should think about, and obviously we're biased, is like that experience that a celebrant, that a performer, that, you know, a storyteller can bring to the day. You are really paying for that. When you're paying for someone like a celebrant MC is professional, you know that they're going to do a good job because you're paying for someone like
You're
us.
paying for their passion, their time, their experience.
I think we nailed those questions. You got another one for me?
We
What do you
do.
got? What are you getting in your DMs?
Here's one I prepared earlier. What is your favorite wedding venue? Love dearly from Ryan via Instagram.
Thanks, Rye.
Shout out
Rye.
all those wedding venues that we know and love.
Long Reef Golf Club.
We love Long Reef Golf Club.
We're here right now.
Oh my
Thanks for
goodness.
having us.
We love this venue. And they not only hold weddings, but they have private functions. They've got a great plan B, beautiful view of the water, separate ceremony, canapes, reception area with the option for stand up and sit down. We also love venues outside of Sydney, particularly Grow Wild.
Oh, I love Grow Wild.
Oh my goodness.
I particularly, and not saying there's anything wrong with other venues, but a venue where ceremony and reception, canapes and cocktails are all in the same place, those are usually going to be pretty high on my list. And most venues now do all that, but I do love when everyone is in the same spot.
I also think a very big standout to an incredible venue is when the couple are grateful for people like Lucas and Jane, and not always they say we're grateful for Grow Wild. They name the people that actually work on their wedding. And we know firsthand as celebrants, MCs that have worked at that venue many times, how dedicated and passionate they are. And maybe that's because we resonate with that same commitment to our job as celebrants, that we love working at venues where the people managing it are equally as passionate as well.
And I think about love Grow Wild, other places in the Southern Highlands that do the same, and I always bang on about Ben Dooley, but
You
Ben
love
Dooley
Ben
is
Dooley.
fantastic. I go there a lot. And their staff are always trained to look after everyone, and they're like, even the vendors get looked after, and that's why people love working there. It's a seamless place to be. I think about Marley Bray down there as well.
It's on my bucket list. I haven't been
Oh,
there.
it's so good. I love Marley Bray so much.
I haven't been to Mona Farm either.
Mona Farm's beautiful. And then you could go to ones like beachside venues, like we could go to Dunes up in Palm Beach in Sydney,
Yes,
which is
and I
beautiful.
love Moby Dick's too.
Moby Dick's is wonderful. And then Hunter Valley venues, things like I love the Woodhouse at Wollombi, that's lovely. Adams Peak Country Estate
Love Adams
is
Peak.
beautiful venue. Really, really love Adams Peak. Redleaf, Wollombi, you been
Oh,
there?
yes, I have been to
My
Redleaf.
dear, that is like Tuscany vibes. It's
Oh,
wonderful.
yes, we love Redleaf.
Going into my Newcastle fam, because I'm from Newcastle now.
Yes, Adam's a local to the
Ravella
Newcastle.
is a new venue there. They've taken over an old church and they've done it up to be, it looks awesome. Ravella. They've just opened it up. Looks sick. Can't wait
Sounds
to go there.
so good.
Any others you want to go in there? What about just like surf clubs in general? My brother got married at the Curl Curl Surf Club.
Yeah, cool.
Cheap, easy. You can set it up however you want. Some
Circle
surf
back
clubs.
to the DIY venues episode though.
And one of my favorite, the Clovelly Bowling Club.
Oh, you
I
have done a few
love-
weddings
it's
there.
sick. So it has the best view in Sydney. It's over the water on this cliff face, and then the room is actually beautiful, and you can style it however you want. Some of my best friends got married there, which is absolutely beautiful.
I love Burnt Orange.
Burnt
That's one
Orange.
of my favourite venues. Tabitha is an absolutely exceptional wedding coordinator at that venue.
I'd like to mention Athol Hall, which is my favourite venue in
also
Mossman as
enjoy
well,
Athol
which is
Hall.
like it's in the middle of Mossman behind Taronga Zoo, but it's not super posh. It still feels kind of quaint, even though you've got this amazing view of the harbour. It's absolutely incredible.
Beta events in the city.
Oh, yes, good
Alyssa
one.
came over from Athol Hall actually, and she works there, and she is brilliant.
Do you know what I also love? There's some venues going around which have like chapels and stuff. You can have indoors, like Peterson House. is
Oh, Peterson House.
Chapel Ridge is awesome.
I haven't been there.
Yeah, so Kantara House. There's lots of beautiful ones with
Forgot about
great
Kantara
chapels.
House. That's stunning.
And then ones like Grayleigh, Kiama, Seacliff House. Oh my. If we've forgotten a venue, please tell us, because there are so many that I could go through. I could go to a different wedding every single week and love the venue that we're at.
Which comes to another question that you got asked very recently through a question box about how many weddings exactly have you done?
Oh, yes. That was Sarah Sampy, who I am doing her wedding next year. She messaged me on Instagram and she said, can you recall how many weddings you've actually been to?
You counted recently.
counted recently for
What's your
Sarah.
magic number?
I lost count a little bit, but it was somewhere around 350 couples that I've married. Somewhere
That's
around there.
amazing.
Do you know?
I am so sorry, but I do not have the time
Yeah.
to go back and count. I've had 2 email addresses over the 5 years
Yeah.
I've been a celebrant, and I just don't know. And quite frankly, I'd be wasting my time counting, I think.
Yeah.
I could just be writing someone else's ceremony script for next year's wedding.
I wasted my time, and Sarah, I haven't written your ceremony because I counted the weddings for you. And that's why you pay the big bucks for a celebrant.
It comes back to my favourite phrase of quality over quantity. How good those weddings were rather than how many.
I'm going to go to one from a fellow wedding vendor, DJ Joe Bars. Hey, DJ Joe Bars, we'll at you. We'll put you in the show notes. He asked a couple. He said, hey, guys, love your podcast. Love you. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Question, DJ or band? Joe, we did a whole episode of this in season 1. Go to that. He then said, and what is your top 5 must-play songs for the dance floor? And what are your top 5 yuck songs? What do you got?
I will always dance to the Nutbush.
So my top 5 yuck songs include the Nutbush. And I think I've gone through this before, Georgia. I'm going to put my notes away for a second. Any song that requires a mass choreographed dance that everybody knows is
genius.
shit. The Nutbush, the Macarena, the Grease Megamix, the Ketchup song, a set of hair, a hair, get lost. I'm not here for it. Joe, those are on my top 5 yuck songs, quite
I
frankly.
think that was only 4. Do you want to give one number 5?
Mumbo number 5. Oh, no. Yeah, that sucks too. Honestly, let's be real here.
Okay, you've done your yuck.
What do you hate?
I'm not a huge fan of what's that song that they put on all the time that the oldies love it? Is it not Valerie?
Come on, Eileen.
Yes, I don't love Come On Eileen.
Oh, really?
I don't.
Ba.
I'll sing along on the sideline, but it's not going to get me on the dance floor.
Gimme gets me going.
Yes, but you don't like ABBA in general,
I've come
except
around.
for that.
I hate
Oh
that.
my
No, I just don't
gosh!
like. I think ABBA is cheesy, and I hate cheesy. But Gimme is like a certified disco dance floor tune.
Yes.
Murder on the Dance Floor's made a resurgence recently, and that's always been my dance floor
I
song.
love that.
What not really gets me going is like Daft Punk One More Time. I think I've mentioned that before.
Love
I
that as
love that
well.
on the dance floor. I really love it. If I hear Uptown Funk one more time, I am going to politely walk off the dance floor to the side. Politely.
Politely
Yeah.
and delicately. On your toes, just quietly.
So those are some songs that we like. I think we mostly went through ones that I
We.
You got any more
That
questions on
was
there?
all you. Do you
Let's-
want some more of my song requests?
Oh yeah, what do you got? Sorry.
I only
Sorry.
got a couple.
Am I the only host of this podcast? Can I Oscar, is it just me? Yeah, it's just me. Okay, let's move on. Did you have anything else you wanted to say about
I'm
songs?
not a huge fan when Eagle Rock comes on
the
because I
pants come
do
off?
feel like it is a particularly gendered
Yeah,
song that comes on at that
yeah.
point. That's also a choreographed dance. I don't know if you enjoy that because that's a congregation of people
I
that are
don't
doing
see
a
it.
similar thing. Anyway, not a huge fan of Come On Eileen, not a huge fan of Eagle Rock. Not to say that your dance floor needs to be dictated by my needs and wants, but I will shred it when Let's Get Loud comes on or anything Whitney Houston. In particular, How Will I Know?
Let's fire through some Ask Us
Okay,
Anythings
keep
real quick.
going.
Okay, real quick. How do I change my name from Rachel?
So I say you are legally what's already on your birth certificate,
Yep.
unless you undertake a legal name change. When you get married, you choose to take on your married name. That can be your partner's name. Your partner could take on your name. You could hyphenate, come up with a new name.
Yep.
You need your marriage certificate from Births, Deaths and Marriages, which you or your celebrant may or may not apply for after your wedding.
Not the one you get on the day. It's different.
Not the one
It's
you get on
useless.
the
I always tell
day.
people it's pretty but useless. You don't use that one.
It's got a unique identifying number on the back, though,
Yep.
so it can't be replaced if it gets lost or damaged. That
Soz.
lovely gold bit of cardboard that you get on the day. Mine's in a filing box. You could put it in a frame if you really like yours. But I took mine to Service New South Wales after I got married. Oopsies.
That's embarrassing, and they laughed you out.
Well, they didn't laugh, but they probably were on the inside.
So all of that stuff happens after you're married. There's nothing to do beforehand, and your celebrant will probably send you an email letting you know the steps.
And I have a name change checklist
Great.
if you would like it.
We'll put it in the show notes.
Let's do it.
Great. Next question. Do you have one? Have you got one in your DMs?
Do I have another one?
I've got a quick one I'm going to say as you're looking. At Jamie Postle, who is,
say that.
or at Wedding Music Sydney. He's got 2 accounts. He's a great musician based right here on the northern beaches of Sydney. He's written in. He's one of my favourite musicians. I absolutely love him.
He's such
one
a
of the
lovely
best.
guy.
Look at his Instagram for
List
sure.
your least favourite vendors.
And he said, start some beef.
I'm not engaging in this, but I'll ask you, Adam, who are your least favourite vendors?
And Georgia Fletcher celebrant. And if there's a way that you can work out how to unbeep them, you just heard the beef that I have with people.
You've
They're
started it.
beeped, right, Oscar?
They're on the
Oh my God,
barbecue.
imagine if he forgets to beep that. That's going to be nuts.
Who's not going to forget? That's a ridiculous question.
That's for you, Jamie. Love you.
From Juicy Beats,
Yeah?
festival
At Juicy
style
Beat.
wedding, yay or nay?
Yay!
Yay, we love it.
Quick point I want to make. I did a wedding at the Cove last night, which is a lovely venue, and all of their guests glamped and they stay in cabins there. And what I called my wife Ange on the way home and I was saying, the ceremony was just so lovely because you could just tell that everyone was so relaxed. And as soon as I started, I could just tell people were laughing and having fun and cheering and clapping like I didn't have to do anything, right? And I think it was because they were there the night before. They had a pizza and drinks night the night before, and then they all wake up and they're all on site. So they're all hanging out together, and it's a 10-meter walk from their cabin to the ceremony site. Everyone's just so relaxed.
Like a holiday.
But there's no rush to get there. No one's had to park. They've all been there. And the vibe, I can tell, is always way different and way more relaxed and looser because of that. So I'm a big, big fan of that. One more question I've got here, okay?
One more, do it.
What is something you're seeing a lot of at weddings at the moment from Jude? We're going to do an episode about this in season 2, so stay tuned. I'm seeing a lot of no wedding parties, no one standing up beside.
Or mixed wedding parties.
What are you seeing?
Not bouquets,
Yeah, not seeing that.
cutting out on florals.
And do you know what I think we're going to see in 2024, which we saw in, a little bit in 23? Colour. Colour at weddings, in those
Yes.
flowers, in what people are wearing. Colour. I think we're going to see lots of colour is my prediction.
Lots of colour.
And what I love, I've got a few lunchtime ceremonies coming up. Like an 11 a.m. ceremony, and then they go into a lunch and they're done by 3 o'clock.
So good.
I love that. But
I
that's-
think coming into winter, we're going to see more of that too.
Yeah, that's a little bit of what we're seeing in the world of weddings.
21 questions wrapped up in one
my
tiny little
God.
left on wed episode.
Georgia, this was fun.
Was good.
We should do this again.
Yeah, just without the party hats that break. Maybe we should get some real hats.
Georgia, we're going to take a little bit of a break. Once again, thank you so much for everyone that's listened. We are actually so overwhelmed with the feedback and response that we've gotten, and people are actually listening and loving and subscribing. It's nuts. Thank
What
you.
is this life? We're so lucky.
We are so lucky and fortunate. The only reason we're doing a season 2 and that we're in a venue and it's nuts is because we have had so many people that are listening
So many.
and want this. So, Georgia.
Thank you.
Thank you, Georgia.
So good.
We're going to be
Thank
back
you.
really soon
Thank
with season
you.
2.
Season 2! Hey, thank Thanks for listening.
We really appreciate you. And if you want to hear and see more, follow us on the socials. We are at Left on Wed Podcast on TikTok, on YouTube. There are full video episodes, and on Instagram.
There sure are. If you've got questions, you've got comments, ideas for topics,
Yeah.
slide on into the DMs. But you can also inquire about our celebrant services by finding Adam on Instagram and TikTok at Married by Adam.
That's me.
You can find me at Georgia Fletcher Celebrant.
And if you are itching to tell people about this, please do. But you can leave us a review on whatever platform you listen on. Tell people how much you love it. 5 stars only.
Thank you. That's all we will accept. We'll see you next time.